The last K is flat today. A bunch sprint on a 5,000 meter mount climbing day.
So Matthias, you end your lead out with 170k to go, and
so when we said that today's stage is a throwback to 2020, I think that the penultimate uncategorized climb is Venue, the organizer of the Giro's way of actually making us pay for the stage we decided not to start in 2020, because it's, what is it, 5k
8%.
5k 8%. It's not got a category. It does not registered as a climb. And bearing in mind what Rick scored points on in Hungary back in what feels like a year ago when this race started. If I need some positive energy, I go to Cataford. Like about today. And I'm like, today is effed. Alex just went, yes. We got 20.
I'm optimistic, but
You know what this is though? This stage marks the start of the third week. I mean, demo. The camera's not pointing at you or anything, but
I mean, there is a mistake. I was thinking about that another third week. We didn't find.
in the words of Rihanna, this is what we came for.
it's easy for Dima though. You just have to wait, and then on the 22-kilometer Cat 1, you just have to be in the breakout.
Oh, now I'm more relaxed.
Just the strategy is easy.
Just play me the situation. Okay. Anyway, it's a long week, so.
Yeah, there's no bones about it today. I think today is the hardest stage of the race, isn't it? You reckon, Alex? Like, on paper.
On paper, yes.
Because we all know the Giro, how we race it determines.
I think the stage that goes by Dima's house will be the hardest one.
Because
It's 80k flat.
yeah,
So it'll be 80k fight for the breakaway,
yeah.
and then it's like 3,000 meters of climbing into 80k at the end.
This is someone that reads the road book, and I am someone who reads it when we arrive there, or asks my friends what have we got
Halfway
in store.
through the stage.
Halfway through the stage. Yeah, I'd love to sit here and tell you that the rest day has rejuvenated me to the point where feel like I'm back in Hungary. It has not. And I don't think it has for anyone. So it's just going to be a big fight. We're just going to fight. We're going to fight to get Demmer in the breakaway, and then we're going to fight to get to the finish line. I mean, we go over the Motorola, which is one of those like sacred climbs, like the ones that you must do in your life. Although I never have that feeling of having to must do any climbs. And then we continue to do stuff after that.
We don't do the famous whale.
Do we get to the top?
Yeah.
It'll say Motorola at the top. That's good enough for me. That's good enough. Or not doing it would be good enough for me as well. How you feeling, Brandon?
Bit better. I have the feeling like I feel like 2 days before the rest day, but I have the feeling after today I will feel like before the rest day. And before the rest day, my fatigue level was 10 out of 10, you know? And I'm a bit afraid after today it will be again 10 out of 10, but then we still have 1, 2, 3, 4.
4 more roads.
4 more to go.
4 and a TT.
5, so guess it will be a hard week.
Tomorrow just starts with an 8k climb.
We'll get to tomorrow when we get to tomorrow. Anyway, this has been a ramble. Stage 16, the first of 2 brutal days.
Anticipation, nerves and excitement were abound at the start of stage 16 in Salò, ahead of the 202-kilometer run all the way up to Aprica. Another classic, the mighty Mortirolo, climbed this time from Mon on the slightly easier side, and the Valico Santa Cristina, the final climb of the day. And finally, after 5 visits to the Giro, 9 Grand Tours, Jan Hirt, a Grand Tour stage winner.
Today was hard. Today was really hard. Even the neutral was hard. 420 TSS for those of you watching that know what that is. That's a big number. We tried to get Demo in the breakaway again. It didn't happen. Hit the first categorized climb, got in the gruppetto, and rode to the finish line. More of a Gran Fondo than it was a bike race, but it was big numbers were laid down today just to get through it. I just looked at some of the Velon stats. I had exactly the same average power as Jan Hirt, who won the stage. So the power's there to win this kind of thing, but
The scale.
the scales don't lie. Damn it! Damn it!
You win a stage like this if you just lost 15 kilos.
If I lost 15 to 20 kilos and kept the same power, I could win this. Yeah, but everyone got through safe and sound. Everyone's pretty rinsed. It was a hard day, but we survived. My mum and dad are here, which is great. They're at the finish, they're at the start. Teams hooked them up with hospitality. They've got a sticker for their car, which they acquired not from us. We've just acquired one, but they are sort of experienced campaigners with following a bike race round. Good to see them as well. And yeah, that's the Queen stage done. Nothing else this race starts with a 2 in terms of distance, and nothing starts with the 5 in terms of elevation gain. Tomorrow we have an 8k climb out the blocks. If that goes okay, tomorrow will be reasonably trouble-free to get through, and then we're into a flat day where it's either a sprint for Rick or we'll get a break. Got to see how the other teams want to play it. Could be a mad chase like we had the other day. Obviously we won't be helping now because we don't have Giacomo here, although if we won't be helping with the same tenacity as we did before, but I think we'd help it if Rick felt up for it. But certainly the onus is on the sprint teams with the top tier sprinters, so UAE, and I hope Rick won't mind me saying it, UAE, Quickstep, France Italy. It's going to be interesting to see how that pans out. Anyway, bedtime, no not bedtime, massage, dinner, bed. It was a long day, 7 hours in the chair. A long day.
I love days like this because for sure on the start line you'll see all ranges of clothing choices.
Yes.
You're gonna see some guys in shorts and jersey, and you're gonna see some guys with 3 rain jackets, hats.
You won't be able to see their
Booties.
faces. Anyone weighing more than 70 kilos won't be wearing much because they'll be scared at the start.
What is with people above 80? I stand like this.
We've got a wet day. It wasn't planned. The forecast still says this precipitation should not be precipitating right now. It will stop. Will it stop by the time we hit the climb?
No, I think the day is good. The day is good. For me especially, but because when it's raining I don't need to drink so much. And
Mr. Positive over here, Matthias Brandley. Keeping team spirits alive. Had some theory that he wasn't the first dropped yesterday.
The theory is true.
Nasty start. The stuff that Nightmare's made of heavier guys, 8k uphill at 6 or 7%. Then it's quite sensible, and then there's a nasty climb right at the end. 8k at 10%. I didn't even think about the one before the final one.
11k at 8% before.
11k at 8%, and then 10k at 10%. 8k at 10%. 10k at 10%? 8k at 10%.
So it's actually harder than any climb we did yesterday.
2 weeks ago,
Yeah.
I think I was a little bit bigger. I don't think I lost weight, but maybe I got skinnier.
Lost mass.
I lost fat.
I can tell you my moment of the day yesterday. You know, we were going up this climb.
Yeah.
Rick was on my wheel. I was following in these 3 guys.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden I heard, hey, Rick, leave the gap, because Rick was, let them go. Okay, he said let them go, because he was so on the limit and he was afraid to drop from my wheel. So he thought it's better if I leave the gap because then it's with me and then I cannot say I dropped him. But for me, already hearing let them go, this was for me like already a victory because I know, fuck Rick, now he's in trouble.
Stage 17. Today was a really bad day. I've written off 2 skin suits. That's problematic. First one, they started at 7:45 with a knock for doping control, drugs test for me and Damaki and Brandley and Reto. And I turned on the lights, one of which I'd left my skin suit to dry on overnight, and that, whilst we were at doping control, came back to a room full of smoke. These old Italian hotels, there's no smoke alarms it seems, so I guess that was lucky. And then I wasn't feeling good. I had to have a little nap on the bus, a little bit out of sorts, and then first climb today, I was climbing straight out of the blocks and it was raining, so it was difficult to know with rain how much to wear, because you're very cold at the time, but then you know you're going to get very hot in a matter of minutes, and then you've got a downhill after 8k where you're going to get very cold again. But I think I got that okay. But yeah, we hit the climb and I settled into like 400 and tried to just sit at 400, above 450 but below 500 watts, which is just like above 6 watts per kilo, like in the hope that the pace would then settle. But my heart rate wouldn't come up. I felt like I was breathing, but what I was breathing wasn't going to my legs. And then I was like panic breathing. It was dropped, but not alone. So we then came back because the brake went and the bunch eased off. So we, as we expected, came back after the climb. Then we hit a third category climb in the middle of the race, and I had the same breathing heart rate issue. It's either fatigue or perhaps didn't eat enough yesterday because it was such a huge day yesterday, maybe, or just a bad day. And I do, when I seem to have a bad day in a Grand Tour, it's biblically bad. So there was that. And then middle climb limited my losses. So I knew I could get back on a descent. Just as I was getting back on, relaxed, and slipped off on a corner. Fully all over the show. I could imagine adrenaline spiked and then crashed, and I was just struggling to hold the wheel of my teammate. We were comfortably out the back, starting to panic a bit just about general time cut. I then, on the penultimate categorized climb, I didn't look at my numbers, I just settled into a rhythm, and I knew the gruppetto would climb at about 1,000 to 1150 VAM, settled into a rhythm, just the most that I could handle, and then looked at the numbers, and I was doing more like 1400 VAM, which is vertical altitude meters gained per hour, which was good. So I knew then I was okay, and I'd finished safe, caught the gruppetto back up, and then got to the finish line safe and sound. Had to swap bikes as well. So today's the only bad day. I'll take that, and that was a particularly bad day. Bit of skin off, bit of pride dented. Yeah, just front wheel just slipped away on a corner. A little bit too much confidence, I think, from me. But yeah, that was today. Anyway, almost at the end. 4 more stages, 2 difficult ones, 1 easier one tomorrow, and a time trial. The end is in sight, and today for a little while I wondered if I would be seeing the end of the Giro, but I just kept ploughing on as hard as I could to see where I was at, and luckily it wasn't even enough, it was comfortably enough. We were 14 minutes ahead of the time cut, so we could have gone a lot easier. You panic. So anyway, thanks for watching, see you next time.